I am JB Bryan, and this is AfroEconomics Live. We're talking about how to avoid sabotaging your finances, money madness. I mean, really? You work hard for the money, and some things that we're doing, we're sabotaging ourselves. We have to make sure we make a point to avoid hurting ourselves in so many ways. So I'm hoping that I had to think about myself and then just really think. And because the best way to change is to mirror yourself. Think about what you're doing. Please add, those of you who are all the way live in the webinar, please add comments, Barbara, Kathy, Keith, y'all add them. Add comments, give me some things that you have found. It might not be you, it might just be somebody you know, that what they have done and it has sabotaged their finances. I'm just going to give you some of my key points so that you can, think about it. If you're doing it, make sure that you change it. Most of them at some point, I think most of us have been guilty of these things at some point, depending on some things. So let's make sure we talk about it. Again, here's the email at the top, jb@afroeconomics.com or jb@jbbryan.com, or go to the afroeconomics.com website that's up here. Click chat now, and it will send an instant email to my AfroEconomics team. Those of you who want to be included in the June workshop, and it's a workshop, but it's a brunch, and it is a panel discussion, and it's all about today's Black man and his money. June 9th, a Saturday morning in the nation's capital. Perfect day. You can go and do everything else after you get a belly full of knowledge and some nice warm food. It is $50. If you are a member, it's absolutely free for you, of course. But if you are listening to me right now and you want to come to today's Black man and his money, my brunch, and get a free meal and some free information, and I might just treat everybody that comes to a book, a $20 book, and a $50 meal. Oh my goodness, you're just getting, it's like winning the lottery. It's better than winning the lottery. You're going to get some priceless knowledge. Email me and let me know. But I need your name and your contact number so my team can call you back and give you your brunch ticket. And that is in our nation's capital, in our office on 12th Street Northwest, Metro Center. The Metro comes right up below us. So just come up and come on up into the office. So no excuses. Don't even have to have a car. You can get to me. So let's talk about money madness. Things that may be sabotaging your finances, and we're going to stop them like yesterday. This one is just something that I thought about because I had like 10, 11 points. And I said, oh, this is crazy. Let me tell you about this story. So when I was grown, when God decided that my husband at that time, we're going to have a child. So I have his child, then I immediately become a single parent, unfortunately. So what happened is that I started just like being, irrational. So me and the nanny actually it's my fault. We decide that I'm going to take the nanny and my daughter, because I'm not dating, and I started taking the nanny and my daughter to, at that point, right? Because I got this newborn, I got this little teeny baby. I started taking them to really nice restaurants that I want to go to. So we start like going to these really nice steakhouses and going to Roof Chris and, all these extreme like names that same Sam Miller's, all these like places that have like, it's costing me like $150 every time I go with a little teeny baby. And I kept up that habit till like she was like 3 or something. And then finally the nanny said, like, this child don't really want to go to these restaurants. She'll be just as happy if y'all went to McDonald's. And I was like, what? And then, okay, I couldn't go all the way. I couldn't do the McDonald's. But, we started looking at like Arby's and stuff like that. And I said, wow, like she was so much more comfortable. She had a much better time, everything. So I say what I want to say with that, and somebody out there might need that. You might be at that point in your life where you're just doing some inappropriate spending. It will jack you up. That was unnecessary. Like I can't get the money back. You can't get that money back. So you might be like buying your child $300 sneakers and they can't even walk yet. You see that all the time. They have like Jordans on or whatever the name is, and they're just little teeny babies. And so we have to be careful. Or look, I would just go to the store and buy the most expensive clothing items and at these expensive clothes store and not realizing. I remember one time I came back and I had like over $1,000 worth of toddler baby clothes. And my mother says, but she's not going to be able to wear it that long. And I was like, whoa. So inappropriate spending is real. Don't fall victim of inappropriate spending. But that's not even one of the points. But what made me think about that, I do not know. But look, and you also could just call that emotional spending, but it was totally inappropriate. Like, don't force your children to go into a lifestyle or materialism or extravagant spending, and they don't have to. We create this behavior in them, and we just don't realize it. But when you start doing that it just becomes a lifestyle and they expect it every time. So I'm glad I stopped before she realized. When I introduced her to other places and I started cooking. Now I don't even like going out. So that saves a lot of money. Don't sabotage yourself by just going out all the time, because it hurts our health, because we're eating, we're spending, and we don't know what they're putting in our food. So, I started cooking more, became healthier and everything. So let's, definitely watch out for the inappropriate spending. Just doesn't help. So first one, obsession with budgeting. An obsession, of course, not budgeting is a problem, but how you sabotage yourself is just becoming obsessed with it. Like, you won't even go to the park, and spend $10. Like you said, well, I'm not gonna. So you know that the family needs some form of entertainment, or just to a movie and spend $15. You go, it's not in the budget. It's not in the budget. That. So everybody around you gets frustrated. The whole family is mad. Everything is depressing because you become obsessed, obsessive budgeting. You want to budget, but you want to budget to make sure that you avoid an extreme, like a shopping spree. But you don't want to budget where you can't spend an extra $10 or $20 to do something that would be priceless and entertainment. I just got a comment. It says, I just saw a news article where a young man got mugged for his $2,000 Air Jordans. Woo! Which left him running down the street in his socks. That's real, right? And if it's truly, you said young man, then, oh my goodness, then he is like, that means some family member spent $2,000. And that's what it's really $2,000. Like, there's some Jordans for $2,000. Goodness gracious, you know what you could do with $2,000? Do we know what $2,000 could grow to over time in one of my AfroEconomics investment portfolios? Click that green right there and put that $2,000 away. Oh my goodness. So obsessive budgeting, like the spending $2,000 on some Jordans, that is totally somebody who does not have a problem with obsessive budgeting, unless they just budget, like their whole budget is just clothing items, unnecessary stuff. So we got to be careful what's in the budget, right? But don't be obsessive. It's kind of like when a person's always says they want to take a diet, they want to go on a diet, but they cut out everything. They start cutting calories on their broccoli. It's like, look, they didn't, when they were eating French fries, they didn't count the calories. But now all of a sudden you're eating broccoli, and you're saying, oh, that's 25 calories per cup, and it's like, just put the broccoli on the plate, cut the fat, doesn't need the butter and the cheese. Just with the broccoli, you can have unlimited broccoli. Look, we don't need Weight Watchers to tell you that. So when it comes to your budget, it's the same thing. It's not that taking your wife out to a movie on Friday for $10 a piece, even a matinee on Saturday, that's not what hurt the budget. It was possibly that you had to get, 5 pair of sneaker or a $1,500 cufflinks or something. But, the $10, no, that's the broccoli. So, so let's also talk about, gotta buy because it's on sale. My second point, like, you got it. They're having some commercials and you're like, oh, well, I got to get this car now because it's the end of the year sale and we got to get this car, even though you don't need the car. Your car is fine. Or you got to get this furniture because they're having a sale on furniture. You got to go to the sale, spend this money, not budgeted, taking away from things that you really need to do, and you're going to spend it just because they're having a huge summer sale. You don't have to do that. You do not have to buy. That will sabotage your financial goals. That will take you off track. That will put you into credit card mode. And just because you didn't take it out on your debit card, but you put it on the credit card, so now over time you're going to pay even more because now you got the interest and everything. So a third point is those buy one, get one half off. But you don't need two. So you're all excited because, they go, oh, you want that one? And you're on your way out of the store. And then they go, well, if you get another one, it's half off. You didn't even need it. You are leaving the store. You didn't need it. You realize that they could sell you that one for half price is because their profit is probably 90 or 80%. So they're still making a lot of money at the half off. It's part of the whole promotion. It was never just one by itself. They came in the store with buy one, get one half off. So they wanted to sell more quantity, and most people will do it, and they'll sabotage their plan of action. You did not come in there to get two. You just needed one. Get what you need. We have another question. Ms. Sherman says $300 for locks versus doing your own natural hair, right? Do you have to never say LOL? But $300 to get your faux locks. That's what that word is. I was like, you saw me skip over that FAUX, whatever, but now it makes sense because they're not locks. You buying the fake hair and you putting in these faux locks. That's cute. That's $300. That's crazy. Yeah. Look, but Kathy, they might not want to look like this. They might not be so happy with it, but I tell you, it definitely is economical. Believe me that. Another one, Dr. Williams said, ouch. One of my favorite words is BOGO. I love it. As long as you're buying for your wife, you can BOGO yourself on out. Look, I will say that for Ms. Williams. You should BOGO for Mother's Day. Buy one and get another one half off. You can knock yourself out, right? So Kathy said she was guilty of wasting money on those. I tell you, girlfriend, I told you I'm guilty of. I was spending like $300 for me and a child to eat. So, definitely everybody confession would take all night. So a fourth point is don't buy long-term contracts if you're not ready to commit. I don't know, but I am certain, and I hope I am, that no one listening to me right now has a long-term gym membership and you're not going. I know all of you that have a gym membership, you are going. But there are people, not the people who watch AfroEconomics Live, but there are some people out there who actually do the contract, have the commitment, the money's coming out that they could be adding to their account at work or something, putting into their emergency fund, But then, no, they're paying it towards that because they were all motivated January 1st. And then what? May, they decide they don't want to go anymore, or they stop going in February. That's what they depend on you doing. So be careful. If you're not ready to make the commitment, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. That will sabotage, and it will make you mad. It will make you mad. It says saving everything. Everything. Like I scribble stuff, and then I'm like, what in the world? Saving too much, like over saving. It will sabotage you. Like totally irritate you and everyone that loves you. Like everything you have to save everything, and you're not able to take advantage of anything that's right here and now. No, we all know that we have lived long enough to know that tomorrow is not promised. So we do need to save for our future, but it's not just like the obsessive budgeting. You cannot become that oversaver. You don't want to be that person who your car is falling apart and you have all this money, but you got to call your cousin, your aunt, your uncles to get a ride because your car is always broken down, but you won't just take your savings and buy you a car that is dependable and that you're not going to be stuck on the road with. I mean, seriously, don't oversave and become, and many times they do, those oversavers become burdens to everyone that loves them. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not what we want here. So a 6th point is being too cheap. Buying, this is look. We're talking about sabotaging your finances. You gotta realize that if you're buying cheap stuff, that's not an appropriate money management skill. If it's cheap, like, just say you're going, I don't know, like just even if it's a car and you're going and you just buy this clunker, but you're going to have to go and get another car every year because you insist on buying the worst car, that you have to realize that being too cheap, and you have the money to get a good car, a decent car, it will add up. You're going to end up spending so much more on maintenance and Uber and all this, and you still got to insure it. The car is there, that you're going to have like you are being too cheap is just not, I did a video one time about, how expensive it is to be poor, because when you are being cheap too often, unfortunately, there are people who have to buy cheap items. They don't have a choice. They, cannot afford to shop anywhere except for Dollar General. But what we have to do is, even if we're on limited income, that we have to be careful that we're not wasting our money on the Jordans, but on things for our consumer products we get too cheap on, because you will end up buying and buying money. Like you're buying the cheapest dish detergent, but then you have the most expensive pants, that anybody on your whole block, like, and you got to show out that way. But no, focus on the right thing. Focus on buying good food, good, clean food, not eating out at expensive places, and allowing them, but buy food so you can cook so it can stretch over the days and over the days. But because really eating out and buying these little $5, $3 meals, and that it's being cheap. It appears to be cheap, but it's costing you more from a health perspective, and it's costing you more per meal than if you just went and bought 3 or 4 pounds of chicken and cooked the chicken, and that you could eat for breakfast and lunch and dinner, and then at the same price of everybody just getting a Happy Meal for one day. So even though they appear like, oh, this is so cheap, it's not. It's not. We have to be very, very careful with how much it costs to be very cheap. Like you can buy really cheap clothes, and most of us aren't guilty of that, but buying really cheap clothes so that you can have a lot because you're worried about somebody seeing you, in the same thing, can cost you a lot, because you're going to have one wash, it's going to fall apart, the color is going to be gone, it's going to look tacky, so you're going to have to end up going and buying more clothes again. So you want to buy a good quality and not worry about what people think about you having worn that last week. That's okay. Wear it yesterday. Repeat. Do whatever you got to do. It's good quality and it's clean. I know someone who buys the cheapest dish detergent that takes extra liquid to build decent tubs. Exactly. To build decent suds. Exactly what I'm talking about. Because you know that we're clean people by nature. So we buy cheap cleaning things that we're going to be using. Be like, oh, this thing ain't working. We're going to get it clean. So you got to use a whole bottle just to clean your tub. So get the real stuff. Focus on the real stuff as much as we can. But generally, when you're being cheap in one area because you're saying, oh, I don't have no money to be spending no $5 on this and this and that, it's because you just spent $100 on something totally unnecessary. A $200 purse, a $300 hairstyle. I mean, let's be careful on how our priorities are set up. Don't sabotage yourself to not be able to take care of yourself and your family because we're not really being honest with ourselves. Be honest, right? So being too cheap can sabotage you. Another sabotage is focusing on retirement over financial independence. Now, I know you thought that I was going to say, not focusing on retirement, it was a sabotage. But if you focus on being financially independent, your retirement is taken care of. But if you focus on retirement, you may never become financially independent, really, because you keep saying that's later, that's later, that's later. So I argue that today, I don't care what age you are, you should have as a goal financial independence. Meaning I want to have so many assets, things that generate income that I could take care of my daily living without working if you had to, because they're my assets. And if you're not there, it needs to be your thought right now, because retirement makes us think of a time that I don't really think about. I want to work. I don't think about not working. I think about trying. I don't think about it to try. Let's claim it. Let's say it. I want to be healthy and I want to work and build and help people my entire life. But I do desire to be financially independent. This smile will be even bigger when I know it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? That I can give and build as much as I want and I don't have to worry because my assets are growing and paying, and I can use that to generate income to take care of these expenses. And I'll tell you one thing, the way you can get peace is make sure that you keep your expenses down. Because a lot of times people don't realize that the financial independence depends just as much on you living within and below your means and not having all that debt. Your financial independence is determined by how much debt you have to pay, how many expenses you have. You know how many expenses? You're independent. You have expenses, but your assets are generating enough income from them, to pay those expenses. You're independent. So that's an important way for us to start thinking. Don't sabotage yourself and think that you can work your entire career and keep going in debt and buying more stuff and getting more loans and getting more loans and getting more loans. And just because it looks like you're getting a bigger house and a bigger house and a bigger house, that does not mean that you're becoming financially independent. So be very careful. So the focus, not focusing on financial independence can be sabotaging our finances. And the 8th point, having no emergency fund can cause money madness. You will be a lot more comfortable, a lot happier, I have a much more peaceful life, knowing that if the unexpected happens, something, they decide that they don't need your position anymore, that you have enough savings to live. Not the account, the tax deferred retirement accounts. No, you have enough savings available that you wouldn't have to touch that. Now, that's a goal because, hey, in reality, every time you build it, something happens. One thing, we can depend on things happening, right? So make sure that you are, you realize that that it's important for you to be at peace, that you deserve to have an emergency fund, that and buying concert tickets is not what an emergency fund is for. That's not an emergency, right? Look at last week. So what's the other week? I was telling about like forms of emergency, like losing your job, having to go to a funeral. Things like those are emergency. The another one was, oh, thank you. That's so blessed. So, Andrew said, thank you for your financially wise insights. Y'all need to know, I got financially wise insights. Thank you, God, for giving me financially wise insights. Now we know I'm blessed. Thank you. Great. Well, I was looking again at someone said their favorite word was BOGO. I didn't even know what it meant. I think someone on the AfroEconomics team a couple of years ago told me what BOGO. I was like, what? So, all right. A seventh point, having no financial goals can sabotage you. It's a saboteur. It is a financial sabotaging thing to have no goals. You got to. You can't. Any member of all the members of AfroEconomics have financial goals. Our last meeting, I asked you all, some of you didn't do it. I said, even if you think I know your financial goals, I asked you to email me the financial goals because I want to see it. And I think like 10% of you all sent them back. So I wrote it down who didn't respond. So when I meet with you, I'm gonna go over that. Look, you're in trouble. So have financial goals, because if you don't, right, you'll get off track. So you have to know, this is what I'm reaching for. This is what I'm going for. And then kind of as we mature, your life can easily become more scattered. So you have to make sure that you set your financial goals throughout your life. Like at first, like when you're in college, it's like, I just got to survive, But what's now, you've got all this money, all this access, to money. Think about how much more money you have than what you had when you were getting your training. So really take advantage of this opportunity, to write down the goals, write down your goals. So a 10th point, and then, look, we have about a minute left, is the staying at a low paying job. Yeah. Being underemployed is sabotaging millions of us. Let it go. Move on. Move forward. I can't even tell you enough. I've mentioned this before, and there's too many of us that are underemployed. It is a problem. I know that they're talking about like Black unemployment is so much better now and everything, but we've just become comfortable in these underemployment situations. I challenge you to consider the AfroEconomics Entrepreneurship membership if you feel underemployed, because entrepreneurship will allow you, believe me, to maximize all of your abilities as a person. I know it has for me. And you can do anything you want to. You commit to entrepreneurship and building the service or the product that you feel that God has put you here to do. Make sure that you do not allow yourself to be underemployed. You're looking for a different employer, get the different employer. Go, move. Don't hesitate. Seriously. You gotta get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You cannot be underemployed. It's costing you way too much. And you take these jobs because you got out of school and you go, well, I'll just start here. I'll get another. You get comfortable. Your comfort zone will cost you. Stay out of the comfort zone. Believe me. No, do not allow yourself to stay any longer. I think I fully articulated that. And number 11, not actively managing your investments. And of course, that is vital. That's what I do. And I see it, unfortunately, all the time. And that's what I attack. I attack it because I want the AfroEconomics members and those of you who are out there, to make sure that you actively manage your investments. So you're getting these plans where you're saving every month. You don't even know what you're in. You haven't even assessed, you haven't talked to your financial advisor yet. You cannot afford to do that. You don't know what the fees are. You don't know what your expenses are. You don't know, what it's based on. I personally would be insulted if anyone met any of my investment clients and members who said that they did not know what they were doing. Because that's it. I don't even introduce anybody to new ideas until they fully understand what they're doing right now. Because you can't change and you can't improve until you know where your current situation is, right? So that's what you have to do. Commit to, like what we talked about, I think it was last week, about actively managing your finances. If you don't, you're sabotaging your financial future. Y'all have any questions for me before I go? Y'all are the best. It is 8:32. I am JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group. My firm is the home of AfroEconomics, and it was established in 1995. And my book, one of many of my books, look, is AfroEconomics, Our Black Wealth Matters, a strategic financial management program designed for the advancement of Black wealth in America and abroad. Make sure you check out the book in the bookstore. The gift for this week is for the brothers. There's a sister who has a brother that you want to bring to the brunch. I'll give you both a ticket. Email me at jb@afroeconomics.com. It's a $50 ticket, and it's about, a panel. The brothers are going to be talking. I'm going to be learning, and I'm going to be sharing some ideas, but I'm going to have a panel of brothers that are going to, lead the way and talk about today's Black man and his money. I'm coming with the solutions. I just want y'all to come comfortable and ready to tell your story. We're only going to stay and sit together. I'm going to have a nice hot brunch for you, and we're going to have financial empowerment. I wish you all the best for the rest of this year and beyond. Thank you for sharing your time with me. God bless you all. JB@afroeconomics.com or JB@jbbryan.com, 1-844-522-7926. God bless you. Bye-bye.